Yes, ma'am. Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Please make Inside Out as co-host.
Which lady? Sorry.
Inside Out. Inside Out is.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Found it.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Done.
Great. So we'll start. Just a sec. All right, so we have 13 participants in the room, and we will start now shortly with the introduction of Sarah. Just a sec.
You're on mute, Bhavna.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome all of you to today's speaker session. And it is really nice and wonderful to see you all. I would request for those who it is possible, please put your videos on. Let us not miss the amazing networking as well as the learning time. So now today I am Bhavna Sugandha, who will be moderating for the entire show with you. And with us, we have Sarah Paul. So Divya Sarah Paul is an MA in PM and IR, which is Human Resources, from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Mumbai. With few years of corporate HR experience after a break from a career, she has joined as the chief editor at Asia Book House Educational Publisher. Along with this, she has also been helping others succeed in life. As an ISCF certified life coach, it is her passion to see people live up to their maximum potential. So before we welcome Divya Sarah Paul, let me just give you a few guidelines. If you have any questions you would like to ask from Divya, you can put it on the chat box. We are on YouTube Live, so if you miss something, you can again go and watch it. For any other discussion or you want some help, I am there, Bhavna Sugandha, as the moderator from Jaipur region. So let us welcome Divya Sarah Paul. Let's write welcome over the chat box. Over to you, Divya.
Welcome on board.
Thank you, Bhavna, for that wonderful introduction. Good morning to all of you. I see a lot of familiar faces. How many of you think this session is going to change the way you do business? Raise your hand. Thank you. How many of you think this is just another session and it's not going to change anything? Raise your hand. Thank you for being honest and thank you for being here anyway. My name is Divya Sarah Paul and I'm a life coach. I help people have clarity that will change the way they do business and life. First of all, thank you for being here. I know it's a Sunday morning and in spite of being part of the expo, you would have wanted to take it very easy this morning. I appreciate you for taking the time to be here and it shows your commitment to yourself and your business. I will make sure that this time is well worth it. I request my team to put the slide share on. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about maximizing your business by managing your inner voice. You will learn three things. One, what is the inner voice? It's important for you to recognize that you have a voice that's within you that changes or determines the quality of your life. Do you think that this is important for you to know? Type yes in the chat box if you think so. Let me look at the chat box. Yeah, thank you. This is going to be a very interactive session. I'm not just going to do a monologue here. And this is the best we can do on a Zoom session, right? I know live sessions are different, but let's make the best of this. The second thing that you will learn is how has your inner voice served your business? Most people whose businesses don't do as well as they should have an inner voice that's limiting their success. So it's important to identify if your inner voice is serving your business. Type yes in the chat box if you're ready for this. Come on. There's a lot of typing that you will do today. Thank you, Nidhi. Awesome. The third thing that you will learn today is how to reprogram your inner voice to maximize your business. Now, maximizing our business is the sole aim for being part of BNI, for being part of this expo. So there is no debate about it, right? We are all here to grow our business. What if you could reprogram your inner voice to get better business results? What good is it if you just identify some negative inner voice and leave it there? So we have to learn how to change that by reprogramming your mind. How many of you think this skill to reprogram your mind would take your business to a higher level? Raise your hand. Thank you. If you ask me, I firmly believe so. In the last 15 years, I have worked with 2 MNCs, been a homemaker for a while, helped with the family business, and been a life coach. This gave me the opportunity to meet and work with thousands of people and transform their way of thinking. As the popular saying goes, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I've had the privilege of changing the way people think about themselves, and that's had a tremendous impact on the way they do their life or business or career. That brings me to how important the topic of inner voice is to me personally. Is it okay if I share a bit of my story? Do I have your permission?
Yes, Divya, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
For sure.
Thank you. So growing up, I experienced immense pressure to live up to everybody's expectations. I was the oldest child in the family. Any oldest child in the family here in the room? You would know what I'm speaking about, right? I gave my best to academics and all things extracurricular, and I was considered very successful by the people around me. I did not know that my identity was getting shaped around my performance. Something life-changing happened when I was in my 10th standard. When that was the time when my final exams were going on. My grandfather had a heart attack on a regular day. You know, we had just woken up early and I was prepping for the exam and he had a heart attack and he passed away suddenly. My dad wasn't at home. My mom just ran out to call out for the neighbors for help. And I was just there with my granddad and he passed away in my arms. I took the remaining exams while still coming to terms with this shock. When the results came a month later, I had let myself down. I had let my parents and my school down by scoring way below what was expected of me. My identity that was safely built on the foundation of performance suddenly came crashing down. In spite of the tragedy that happened, everyone was so disappointed with me. You know, I did not really recover from this epic failure. That feeling of letting myself down and others stayed with me for the years to come. In spite of the fact that I did very well for myself later on in life, deep down, I felt like a failure. That had become my inner voice. I am not good enough. I have to constantly prove my worth to others. That got me to behave like a hamster on a wheel, always on the go, to succeed, to perform, to achieve, not on my terms, but for others. I wanted to do well to make my parents proud, to make the college proud. The list went on. I was always afraid of letting others down, always unsatisfied with myself deep within. How many of you have felt like this at least once in your life? Living your life to prove to others that you're good. Have you felt that a lot of your decisions sometimes are hinged on everyone else and not you? You know, this pattern made me underconfident and afraid of failure. I wondered how others who seemed less skilled or intelligent than me actually lived their lives with a sense of confidence and freedom that I did not have. Do you resonate with that? Has it happened to you? Your story may be different from mine, but I know that the struggle with the inner voice is real. Now, let's go into the points that I said I will be talking about. Are you ready for the things that we're going to look at today? You know, when you change the narrative that happens within you, everything about you and everything that you do changes. It changes the way you think about your business, and that changes the way your business performs. And, you know, I shared with you my story, and that is why I do what I do, to help people smash their limiting inner voice so that they don't deal with or feel like what I felt like all these years. It takes some effort to work on yourself, but it's well worth it. The best business investment you can make is in yourself. Now, are you ready for the 3 things we are going to look at today? Type yes or I'm ready in the chat box. Thank you. The first one, what is, let's go over the points one by one. First one is, what is the inner voice?
Sorry, 1 minute, Divya. Raghu
Yes.
sir, please mute yourself. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, thank you. The inner voice is that small little voice that speaks about your identity. These are the I am or I am not statements that you can hear at the back of your head when you're about to do something important. It can be positive or negative based on what kind of experiences shape them. Like in my example, the negative inner voice that I had, that I'm not good enough, came from the failure to live up to everyone's expectations at the age of 15. And it only got stronger as years went by. Your upbringing, your friend circle, your social media, everything has a huge impact on how your inner voice is shaped. The inner voice can motivate you, inspire you, or even crush you. I'll give you some examples. I am able. I am strong. I'm beautiful. I'm resourceful. These are all examples of positive inner voice. I'm not good enough. I am not a people's person. I am not lovable. I'm not worthy. These are examples of negative inner voice. Everyone has a fair share of both. I'm sure, you know, you all relate to all of this or a few of these. It's a mixed bag, I understand. But happy people have a far louder, positive inner voice that drives them. And genuinely happy people are invariably successful. Take a moment and think about the different identity statements that you have. That is your inner voice. That brings us to the second point. Now that you know what your inner voice is, I want you to think about your business. How has your inner voice served your business? Think of at least one positive I am statement that helps your business and one negative one. This is important. Would you please put it on the chat box? One positive I am statement that helps you in your business and one negative inner voice. Come on, who is the courageous one to put it down? I am strong. Very good, that's a positive one. Arrogance is my negative. Shashank, I'll meet you later. Yeah, so you're arrogant is what you think in your head. Okay, I am excellent, very good. I am sincere. Impatience, wow. Wow, okay, that's a deep one. So now we all have these negative inner voice that's in our head that's not serving your business, right? Now think about it. Does the negative identity statements or inner voice help your business? How is it affecting your business right now? If you don't take action and continue the same way, how will it affect your business 3 years from now? You know, every bad decision and every slipped up opportunity is an inner voice that did not serve you. Realizing that is the first step. Let's go to the final and the most important point. Are you ready for it? Type I'm ready in the chat box. I'm waiting. Thank you. So the third one is, now that you've realized it, is it possible to change it? Yes, it's absolutely possible. how to reprogram your inner voice to maximize your business. So this is not something where you reach this point and say, oh, I have these negative inner voices, I can't do anything about it. No, it's possible to change it. It's because of a phenomenon called neuroplasticity. It's the ability of our brains to adapt and change. As of now, the thought patterns that you have that are prevalent in your mind, including the dominant inner voice, have paved clear neural pathways in your brain. That means it's very effortless for your brain to think and act on these. So imagine these negative inner voices, they've already paved these clear neural pathways in your brain, and it's very effortless for your brain to think so negatively about you, and imagine how this is affecting your business. How many of you wish you could change that? Raise your hand or type, I want to change it in the chat box. Yes, I see you. We all wish we could change that, right? And it's possible. I'm here to tell you that we can consciously change our inner voice, and that's the inner voice is in the subconscious, but we can make the change in the conscious that will give us results. Yes, you can reprogram your brain. Let's look at your business in specific. What's that negative inner voice that you identified? Now change that into a positive statement and focus on that from now on. It sounds very simple, isn't it? It is simple. The concept is very simple, and that's all there is. Our brains are great machines, very pliable as well. The same trick is used by the military to train the soldiers to do the tough work that they have to do. So you guessed it right. The concept is simple, but there is a method to it and a lot of intention and effort that is required before you get results. This is probably the most effective and the most challenging part of the coaching system that I use that transforms my coachees' lives. When they get to this and they put in that effort to break the inner voice and change that into a positive one, their lives invariably transform. But I'm not going to leave you high and dry saying, sign up for my program and that will change your life, okay? That's always available for those who really want a deep transformation. I am here also to make your time here worthwhile, okay? I'm going to make your time here count. So here are some action points for you. These are things that you can act on right now. 1, change the inner voice statement to a positive one. 2nd, start collecting evidences for the same. I'll give you an example. One of my clients couldn't grow her business after a point. She was in business for a few years. In spite of good knowledge, hard work, and connections, she felt she was stuck. And when she came to me in the course of coaching, she realized that her dominant inner voice was, I am not as smart as people think I am. I am not as smart as people think I am. You know what's that called in psychology? Imposter syndrome. You feel like an imposter. You feel like you're putting up a show and you're not worth all that. And it's surprising that women in business and career have imposter syndrome much more than men. How many women in this room? Do you relate to that? We always feel like, we are not worth it, or the appreciation, right? So it's possible to change that. Sheryl Sandberg in her book, Lean In, explains this in great detail. I'm not getting into the details for lack of time. If you get that book, read it if you haven't already. Now, coming back to my client's problem, she had to change her inner voice, right? So she changed it to something positive and realistic about herself. She changed it to, I am as good as I say I am. Okay, so she changed it to something positive. And what did she do after that? She began to collect evidence. Now, this is important. I'm sure there are evidences in your life that will support this new inner voice, just that you haven't paid enough attention. Like in my client's case, she has always been a topper in school and college. She had a good pedigree. She had great work ethic, and she had commendable commitment to her stakeholders. She had to notice that for the first time and agree with it. She had to first accept the fact that she was good and then consciously replace the old inner voice with the new one. And as time went by, she started making progress in her business, and she began to collect new evidences that supported the new inner voice. It works like magic if you think about it. Whatever your brain thinks or believes the most will show up as evidence before you. Now that you've done this, the third action point is follow it up with affirmations. You know, affirmations are nothing but statements that support your inner voice. For example, my client had to come up with specific affirmations that are relevant with which she could resonate completely. Like, I'm a good learner and executor. I'm excellent with any work that I take up. My good intentions show in the work I do. My thoughts and my actions are in congruence. I think Rajesh was saying that sincerity is his positive inner voice. That's great. So make that into an affirmation. I am sincere and my sincerity shows in my work. You know, whatever your dominant positive inner voice is, support that with affirmations like this. So find affirmations that will back up your new inner voice and practice it regularly. Now, this is important. I have a client who started writing down affirmations every day. So whatever works for you, you can write it down, you can say it aloud to yourself, but this is important. This is your brain actually taking that in those signals that you're actually good, or this is something that the brain has to start believing in. That's how you reprogram your brain. And the fourth action point is always be in a positive state of mind. I know what you're going to tell me, that, you know, this is not possible because bad things happen. Yes, you cannot control things that happen to you, but what you can control is how you respond to that. What you can control is how much of your time you spend being in a negative state of mind. May it angry, sad, whatever, irritated, whatever. You know, things happen to us, but we have control over how we respond to it. Any amount of affirmations will not work if you're always in a negative state of mind. The first thing I do with my clients is to help them navigate their negative emotions and skill them to snap back to a good state. We cannot stop, like I said, you know, situations from happening to us, but we can take control of what we can actually take control of, that is ourselves. If something is stressing you out or pulling you down, do something that calms you down, like meditation or exercise or something that you love doing. Take a break and pull yourself up to a good mental state, and then start working on your affirmations. For me, the biggest stress buster is laughing with my kids. So when I get stressed out, I go take a break, play with my kids, hug them, laugh with them, and before I know it, I'm back to my good state. So do whatever it takes. So we'll do a demo now. At the count of 3, do you want? Why don't you wave? Okay, at me. At the count of 3, just wave. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Let's do some stretches. Okay, just sitting down like this on a Zoom meeting, our energy levels can go so low that we won't even observe what is happening here, right? So just a little bit of physical movement can actually make a change in your mood. So imagine on a regular day when you're stressed out, take a break and go do something for 5-10 minutes that get your spirits up. So that is you being in your good state, right? That's you taking control of the situation, responding well. So when you're in that good state and you maintain that, that's when you do your affirmations. That's when you practice what we just learned. Okay, so this is the summary. Change the inner voice statement to a positive one, collect evidences for the same, follow it up with affirmations, always be in a positive state of mind. So you can maximize your business as far as your inner voice lets you. So go ahead and invest in yourself, invest into your thought life, and everything else you want will follow. I wish I had more time with you, but it's time for questions. If you have any questions you want to ask me, you can do that now, I think.
Thank you so much, Divya. It was such a wonderful, wonderful insights. And I'm sure I would see so many people participating it so well, and they could relate it to what you were saying. And I'm sure something has, gone into it. So before we move to question and answers, let us have one thing which you have learned today from Divya's session. One thing which you think is related to you and you will implement it starting from today. One thing which you would love to implement. Let us have it on the chat box, or maybe I can ask people instead of chat box. So let me ask Anyone
Raghuva,
to
ma'am.
volunteer? Okay, yes,
Raghuva,
please.
ma'am.
Yes.
First of all, ma'am, it was in the dormitory stage. Today it is open up. So thanks a lot, Divya.
That's great to hear. Yeah.
Because we were so busy and all,
Yeah.
we put that into dormitory. Today it got activated. Thanks a lot, and it was great. Great
Thank you.
experience.
Thank you, Raghuvar. Thank you so much. Anyone else who would like to volunteer? Asha, would you like to volunteer and speak? What is that you would like to implement from today's session?
Yeah, hi. Yeah, this really good session for me. I joined today. Like last 2 days, I got an 19th and 20, but I couldn't join because of office work. Yeah, I've been to this city like from last month, and I'm feeling so low like since a week due to the work or homesick or and then I'm having the college work submissions and then office work. So and then today's session it like rewind me again like why I came here, what I have to do, what's my tomorrow's work plan. And yeah, this really motivated me. And Sarah, you did really good job. Thank you.
Wonderful, Asha. Thank you so much. Shashank, please drive carefully. Do not clap. We know you liked it much. All right. So we have Manoj Kumar also. Manoj, would you like to contribute something? What did you like most about the session?
Actually, I'm is in our grand chapter only, but today the first session I will interact with. I will be very comfortable to after listening her words. But I would like have a small doubt which is can be clarified. When we are very confident and sincerity in our work and do everything, but on a final result, if we the financially if it's not in return, it becomes pulling every day in back to back. And on that situation, how we have to overcome? Can you get down my point?
Yeah, Divya,
Yeah.
you are on
When you-
mute. Yes.
Yes. So when you don't see results, you know, the pandemic has been very hard on us, and our family business, the publishing firm, you know that, has been like, you know, very seriously hit. And these times when these kind of times that try your character, that's when you actually know what is your inner voice. And I really look up to my husband and his dad. The inner voice that these people have is something that I aspire to have. When business is going down, and I don't think they've ever had this kind of a crisis situation, but the way they have been making plans for the future, the way they have been pulling themselves along tells me how strong their inner voice is. And in different ways, we have weakened or strengthened our positive inner voice. And it is, I mean, a crisis situation brings it to the surface. Now it's for you, up to you to work on it. Now, when you work on it, it may take a little time, but I will tell you this, that the time and effort that you spend on yourself, on strengthening your inner voice, is the only thing that will last. So the business result will be for a quarter or the next quarter. But if you want to be a successful person in your life, in your business for the long run, this is what you have to do. So the results will come. But use this crisis situation to acknowledge that you have to strengthen yourself from within. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Divya. Adding to it, Manoj, what happens is, you know, when sometimes certain times are repeating, we tend to get into the flow rather than focusing on our inner voices. As Divya mentioned correctly, we tend to get in the flow of feeling that, okay, nothing is working, no matter I try, nothing works. And that somehow becomes our inner voice, that somehow starts attracting more of the negatives. So this is where we need to actually stop and, you know, get yourself out of it. And I know it is very, very difficult. I have seen a lot of people around who have suffered in pandemic, of course, a lot. And I know it is very difficult, as easy to say, it is not as easy to think and implement. But what you have to do is you have to come out of that distraction of yours, which is letting you back into the same sort of circle, same sort of vicious circle of things not happening. But rather you have to make yourself more focused on the smaller achievements. Those small achievements, when you start focusing on, these small achievements will give you a sense of, happiness, and there's a sense of achievement inside you, and that will again build your positive inner voice towards it. I think, Sarah, that's correct, right?
Yes, that's why I named our company Inside Out. What you're on the inside is what comes out. So work on.
Nice. Amu has a raise of hand. Amu, is this something you would like to say?
Really wonderful, especially the statements that you need to make about yourself. You need to not only understand what you are and probably write down. I also do what Sarah just said, write down statements about myself and then keep speaking to myself in a mirror. I love doing that, and I think that really helps. And that was like I had forgotten doing that for some time now. Now that Sarah said, Divya said that, so I'm going to start doing it once again.
Wow, wonderful. That's an activity people like doing also. Talk to yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, like now the level of the statements that I'm going to make are on a total different frequency.
Yes.
That is so nice, Amu, actually. And see, such sessions are always helpful, not because they just pull you out from something, also rather, to make you motivated and keep you on those track, which sometimes with the due course of life and situations around us, we forget doing it. We would be doing something and then we just, these are some little moments we just miss sometimes. And these sessions always help us to be on track again and again and again. So it's very important, once I know some people say that we've already attended such sessions, what is the use of it? That's the use of it, actually.
We need to keep reminding ourselves about
Good morning, all. Good morning, all. I'm
So
Murli from Grant.
Okay. Hi, Murli. Yes, we can.
Yeah, the session was very good, but I'm not able to come out from my inner this thing. I'm physically, mentally, everything. I'm very much positive and very active also. But from inner this thing, I'm not able to come out, and I don't have the practice of writing or practice of preparing for the meeting or something like that. So I actually I'm in Delhi. I'll come to Hyderabad and like to meet Divya. Sarah gave me a session means a direct or face-to-face, one-to-one what you call training to me for that the public speaking things. But after that, I got what you call best 30 seconds in my meeting also, and now it is Divya Sarah. Thank you. I'll come and meet you. We'll make one-to-one.
Why not? We should be doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So nice, so nice. Wow, wonderful. See, it's always so enlightening to hear, such things. Anyone else who would wish to share something?
Yeah, a good statement, my Divya. When you are down, just take a break. Yeah, that's a good one. So you take a break for a short break and then come back. That may give you a lot of other opportunities or thinking. That is a good one.
So maybe since we have the time, you can make a decision to identify 2 or 3 things that you want to do and be accountable to somebody here. Okay, so Amuraj can be accountable to me and I will be accountable to you about what affirmations I'm going to work on, what are the things that I'm going to do to keep myself in a good state of mind, the things that will bust my stress. Like that, maybe you could find somebody here, and because it's a good talk, you can just listen and thank you so much for the support. I see a lot of familiar faces, but if you don't put this into practice, this is just another session, right? So we don't want that to go that way. Yeah.
I'm sure, Divya, the people would be implementing a lot of things of what you have said, and this would not be just another session for any one of us who was actively listening, and they were very careful on what is happening. So that's nice, actually.
Yeah, you've been a wonderful audience. Asha,
Rajesh has something to say. Rajesh?
Yeah, it was an excellent session, Divya. And so I need to activate the inner mind now. I need to focus on and observe now. That's a learning I got it.
You know, it's always working, just that we are not conscious of it. We
Correct.
have to strengthen the positive part of it. Otherwise, it's always working, I'm sure.
Exactly.
It's on autopilot. But we become conscious to it and we strengthen what has to be strengthened. That makes the difference.
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, thanks a lot, Divya. It's amazing.
So true. Thank you so much, Divya, on behalf of everybody who was listening to you. And I could see the engagement people had. You have kept hold the entire audience. And they were so in it. They were feeling what you were saying. They were, trying to get those information done. So thank you so much for bringing this so wonderful Sunday insight to all of us and starting the Sunday with affirmation. Nothing could be much better than that, I'm sure. So thank you everyone for being a part of it. Stay with us for other sessions. There will be back-to-back some more sessions today. And I'm sure you all are getting good. And now it's more like affirmation. I will get best out of this sessions. I will get best in the entire Connectex. See you with this affirmation. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
You take
Bye.
care.
Thank you, Divya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Divya.
Thank you.